Get ready, Santa Barbara. That's the message the City Office of Emergency Services wants us all to take to heart as this winter approaches. In our homes, workplaces, and vehicles, the time for residents to prepare for El Nino is not when the heavy rains are upon us, but before. And advanced preparation by the City of Santa Barbara and other local agencies is no exception.
For disasters, we need to be able to talk to each other and know what we're doing. So it's not just city departments, but how we relate to other departments and other agencies. So how we relate to the county, how we relate to the other neighboring jurisdictions, how we relate to the American Red Cross in regards to sheltering, the volunteer organizations active in disasters, which is VOAD, how we relate with them. And so by working together, we know what we're doing. You know, we have tabletop exercises, we have functional exercises to be able to kind of find those gaps in our capabilities.
As part of those tabletop exercises, the agencies looked at past strong storms like those that occurred in 1995 and 2005 and reviewed measures that have been put in place to improve both how we prepare and how we respond.
There's always areas that we learn, and there's been a lot of changes since 2005. In 10 years, we have better relationships with the National Weather Service. So we're constantly getting updates on what the weather is. The flood control put weather stations at each of the creek levels and watershed areas so we can monitor the water and get that right away. We have a weather station in our EOC, an Emergency Operations Center. So by having those kind of things happening now, when we didn't have just 10 years ago, gives us that much more of an edge of being able to be prepared and getting the information out, not only to city staff, but to the community.
When the rain does come, the amount of flooding that occurs depends a lot on the infrastructure that conveys that water safely to the ocean.
There's a lot of different language to kind of explain the same thing. It's a flume, a culvert, a waterway, a V-ditch, all of these things kind of collect water at the edge of the road or in a low spot in someone's neighborhood. They lead it to a storm drain, or they lead it through someone's backyard out to the street, and then to a storm drain. So it's just a way to channelize the water.
In an effort to keep water flowing smoothly, the City of Santa Barbara Public Works Department has been spending extra time getting ready for rain.
Something that we do in preparation for the rainy season is clean the storm drains. We open up all the little manholes or access doors to the catch basins and drop inlets, and we give that a visual inspection to the box and clean it out, any debris that's in there. And we'll check upstream and downstream and make sure there's no debris that's going to wash in there. And we do that all over the city.
Public Works has also been using cameras to inspect storm drain pipes, deploying additional Vector trucks to suck debris out of storm drains, and they've been cleaning out culverts in the public right-of-way all over town. However, the city stresses the importance of private property owners doing their part.
It's in the municipal code, that's one thing, that you have to keep your waterways clean. It can impact your neighbors. If the water goes out of your flume and onto your neighbor's property, your neighbor's going to be upset with you. All of that water is supposed to eventually get onto city property, get into a city drain. But if you don't keep it clean, there's going to be problems down the road. And then you'll be calling the city, and the city's going to turn around and say, well, that's your own drain, that's your own culvert. It's your responsibility to maintain it.
And during a heavy rain event, Public Works crews will be out in force.
The city's broken up into 8 different storm drain maintenance sections, and each section gets a 2-man crew. And so the crews are familiar with those areas that clog fast or have a small diameter pipe or are in low-lying areas that require more maintenance than the other storm drains. So they'll frequent those areas to keep them free of debris and to keep those flowing. And hopefully they can keep it maintained during the storm.